Hello, everybody. I'm Messinak, and today I am joined by two people, one of which is a regular, and one of which is not so regular.
At this point, I'm starting to be.
Introduce yourself, regular.
Hi, I'm LJ. You may not know me. I don't think many of you have met me before.
Introduce yourself, irregular.
I'm the beautiful and talented VBBN.
Yes, we are joined again by our good friend VBBN, who's here today for a very similar reason as to the last time he was on this. Well, not the last time. The first time he was ever on this channel. Way back when, last year, VBBN here got advanced copies of the Hero Factory Invasion from Below sets for review purposes because he is a set reviewer on Eurobricks.com and the action figure forum. Well, this year is much the same. He has received advanced copies of the fabled, heralded, much talked about Legends of Chima 2014 Constraction sets for the Fire and Ice sub-theme. And today he is here to share some additional info about them, talk about the reviews he did, which, by the way, are all live up on Eurobricks.com. They'll be linked in the description below. High quality reviews with high quality photography of all these sets from very different angles. And he's basically here today to share additional info and give his thoughts on them. And let us do the same. So first of all, I'll just ask a question, the obligatory thing. What was it like making these reviews? How'd that go? Anything different from the norm?
Well, the pictures went a lot better than the Invasion from Below ones did because most of my lighting.
With that.
Yeah, most of my lighting is done with natural lighting, and during those reviews it was over the winter, so I didn't really have much of that.
Yeah, I remember Stormer Freeze Machine review was lackluster.
Yeah, black backgrounds are really bad to shoot with those. And then I did have slightly less time this time around, so my wording or like the text portion of the reviews I did have to rush a little bit more.
You had to reshoot the Sir Fangar pictures.
Yeah, I reshot him on white, and then afterwards I realized that it was completely impossible to see most of him. Because at first I thought he was gonna, like, all of his parts be able to see him because of his cape, but that wasn't the case.
Wouldn't that have been nice? Well, I guess pretty much the big thing a lot of people are going to be wondering right off the bat, because you're the first person, to my knowledge, to have them in hand besides BZP and whoever else got review copies. Final clarification, because you've actually spoke to LEGO about this. Tell all of our fans what the scoop is, if you'd be so kind, as far as release for the sets.
I never did end up getting an official response, but it doesn't seem like it has changed. Yeah, they didn't officially give me any reply as to
Kidding me?
releases.
No, for the love of man, we don't say that. Don't tell our fans.
Don't give hope.
Quick, lie!
But yeah, they're not going to be released in North America.
Yeah.
And the reason why these reviews could go live this week because the figures are released now. Some people are already starting to see them in stores.
Yeah.
And
Amazon UK.
Yeah, you're only going to find them in. Yeah, you'll only find them in. I don't know what countries besides Europe they're going to be in.
Everywhere.
It's kind of a vague where they're going to be released in and where they're not, because I know a lot of countries still don't get them, like Australia.
Zimbabwe.
Or they get them late. Antarctica.
Yes. Well, okay. So that's the bad news. Remains unchanged. For now, they will not be available in North America. That's a shame. But the real question, I guess, is going to be, are they worth importing? Are they that good? Now, the theme for this wave is obviously fire and ice and transparent pieces. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts of how that theme held up, all in all.
First of all, I don't pay attention to the system sets, so I don't know about storyline reasons and stuff like that. But
to my knowledge, all it is people got awakened from underground, frozen people, I guess, ancient civilizations in Chima, and they're awake and they're evil and they want to freeze the world. And they freeze all of Chima, and Deus Ex Machina Phoenix Tribe comes in to save the day and reheat the world. And they give everyone fire pajamas and golden armor.
I
That's.
didn't realize vultures were ancient animals. All right. Um. Well,
How do you
I
think it
think
translated to Constraction? The
I
transparency,
think
mainly.
the translucent parts, like the bones and the fists, I think those are the main draw for these figures in terms of parts that you can reuse with Hero Factory and other mocks. Because a lot of the parts, like their chest armor, it's cool, but I don't really see its uses going that far out of Chima because it's very, it's very, I don't know, very stylized for that sort of thing, like Ben 10 parts.
The chest
And
armor.
then the fact, yeah, like the chest armor, and then
You're
the
talking
fact that you're
about people
getting
can
them.
have heart lights. You can be a Toa heart light.
But still, you have them in only 2 colors
Yeah.
because every fire set has got gold, and that new armor piece on the shoulders is only in gold and more gold. So
Gold
if
is
you don't
very
mock in those
oversaturated.
colors, yeah, so you don't mock in those colors, it's kind of, I don't know, I don't really think they're gonna be that much of a draw for parts. You'd be better off buying just bones and stuff.
I remember back in the
If
days when gold was a hot commodity and Brutaka was the best thing to ever exist. Now here we are. It's everywhere.
yeah,
Well,
and then but yeah, I don't think if you're buying the sets for the parts, you might be overpaying a lot because I'm sure the prices for the sets are gonna be really high.
you know it.
It's very few sets I think are worth it just for the sets if you have to pay much more because I already think the standard retail price is too high for them.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Pretty
I
much
guess
paying
one
for
of my
recolored
questions, it
parts.
wasn't just from a parts perspective, it was also from a design perspective. Because the transparency, it's cool or whatever, but it also lends to a lot of asymmetricality, where some of the limbs don't have armor on them in the case of the ice villains, and you just have the transparent bones. And I'm curious, do you think that was a good idea? It was pulled off well, or not?
I think I mentioned it in one of my reviews, but I was saying that the trans bones can be kind of like a crutch because if you have a trans bone, then they think that that's a major appearance, so they don't bother to add armor on top of it.
Yeah,
Or maybe they spent so much time in getting those bones that they didn't want to spend any more money on adding more armor.
that's probably
But
it.
yeah, a lot of like Vardy, he's the only one who can really pull it off because he's supposed to be bony. But like Fanger, there's no point to it. I don't know why he's missing it. And then
The
Mungus is
ancient
just a mess.
animal. Yeah, it seems like it was a
Half
bit of a
skeleton.
mixed bag. Honestly, the fire sets seem way more structured.
And that's also because I know like the golden parts for the fire sets are kind of based off of their armor, and I do think that the new golden parts really do make the figures look closer to being, bigger versions of the minifigures. Like the armor is more stylized and
Exactly.
doesn't just look like parts trying to imitate the minifigures. It actually looks like it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that part I do think worked out pretty well.
Let's see. Out of all the sets, who would you say is your favorite?
Panther.
Who's your least favorite?
Vardy is probably my least favorite, but I don't think he's terrible. I just don't see, there's nothing in him that I'm really, besides the buzzsaw and the dark tan. As a set, excluding parts, as a set, I think he's just the most boring to me.
Who's the most
There's nothing
average?
that I really find interesting. Yeah.
Who's middle of the road? Putting you on the spot here.
Um.
7 sets.
Actually, I
Who's the
think
middle?
Fluminox might be, Fluminox I think might be in there as well. But middle of the road, I think Laval and Krager.
Yeah.
Because I think they're both better than their first forms, but I don't know if they really needed to be used. Well, I guess they need to be used again because they're main characters, but I don't know if they did enough to change them.
Yeah. Krager.
I think they just kind of applied the standard add gold armor and call it a day sort of thing.
Exactly. Now, I'd like to clear up a couple color misconceptions for the fans as well. There are two rare colors featured in this wave of sets. Obviously, there's a ton more, but two in specific I want to mention: tan and brown. I think some of our fans would like to know what shade of colors these are, so as to not get your hopes up, because the last time I remember this happening was when the Green Lantern set came out, and everybody was like, green? That has to be Mata Green. Yes, Mata Green is back, and then it wasn't Mata Green, it was a new shade of green, trying to emulate Mata Green, but not being Mata Green. So the brown, is it Pohatu brown or Ogrum brown?
It's Ogre Brown, which is a reddish brown.
Yeah.
And on the system set, that piece, they come with that torso armor. That's Pohatu Brown. That's a darker brown. So
Well,
the system sets have a completely different shade.
welp. Okay.
But even then, you're only getting, I think, one armor shell or two. I don't remember. One
It's
or
just
two armor
one.
shells, and then two little tiny bone pieces. You're not really getting much in the way of brown.
Yeah. And then the tan, Vorox tan or darker tan?
It's the dark tan.
Okay.
And again, you're only getting two pieces of it, so I don't really know. And then you're getting the head, which how many times you can be able to reuse that?
Can use it as a weapon, stab people with the beak, put it on a stick, then do witch doctor, Vardy
Terrify
doctor.
children.
Okay. Thanks for that. Let's see what else. There really isn't a lot to talk about with these sets. Because unlike
Yeah.
Zero Factory Invasion from Below stuff, where it was all revolutionary, this is more run-of-the-mill stuff.
This is just pretty to look at.
The chi orbs in the chest, when you press the button, do they fall out or do they launch out?
They just fall out.
Disappointing.
Which really, I was looking at it, and I think it would have actually been pretty easy to implement a launching feature. I don't know what the point would have been, but
no point.
they could have.
It wouldn't have fit in the story either, but it would have been cool nonetheless. Surprise.
But I saw someone on I think it was on a BZP review or something. They were asking what the point of it was, but it's like those spheres. Once you put them into that chest, they will not come out unless you push that button.
Yeah.
They're very secure in there.
Got a chi up. Okay. Let's see. The Zamor launchers, they are indeed back, and they are the same piece. No modifications, correct?
Yeah. So now that I realize I didn't check because I think the pearl dark gray. That's like, I don't know if that's changed since 2006. It might have changed a little bit. I'm not sure because they come in pearl dark gray.
To my knowledge,
But
silver
I
is
don't
the
know if
only
it's the
color that's
exact
changed.
same. Yeah, I don't know if pearl dark gray changed at all because I don't know if they're the exact same shade of it as the 2006 ones, or if they're a newer shade.
I heard
But they didn't look any
chuckling,
different to me.
LJ.
Good, good.
But I didn't even mention the fact that they're not black. I was talking about the shape. But yeah, we lost the bet.
Oh yeah.
They're not recolored. Missed
Toy
opportunity,
Fair.
but
Look at they were black.
it is pretty cool that they're back.
Yeah, there's no mold wise. There's no change at all.
Okay, let's see. Two of the sets have movable jaws. That's pretty cool. Panthar.
Oh, three of them.
Wait, three. Oh yeah, Krager.
Krager has one too, but his head's just a repaint of the old one.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the last thing that's really big about these sets to warrant discussing is combiner models. What's the deal with those? You briefly touched upon them in your reviews, but it was like a copy paste.
Yeah. Because on all the smaller sets, they had, well, on all the sets, they have the combiner model in the back, and every single one is different. And for all the small sets, it'll show that set combining with whatever the bigger set is of its tribe. So if they're a fire set, then they'd be combining with Fluminox. Or if they're an ice set, they'd be combining with Fanger. And then they combine into like a bigger figure, and that bigger figure will have the head of whoever. So if you have Laval and you look at the back, that combiner has his head. And then if you had Fluminox, it's actually Fluminox is he combines with Laval, but it has Fluminox's head. It's some slight differences. So it's basically 7 different combiners, but they're pretty much just just a standard build and then different type of armor and weapons. But I can't see them very well because I didn't get there's no PDF instructions yet for them or anything,
Yeah,
as far as I know.
that's a shame, but if they're already coming out publicly, the website should be updated soon enough. Maybe there will be instructions. I don't know.
Some of them did look pretty cool.
Some of them looked not pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
there was one that really, oh yeah, Panthars did not look good. If I'm remembering correctly, his looked weird. Fluminox in general looks weird. The set they're combining with. I'm not sure how to feel about him.
I think most of them. I think a lot of them try to use the wing pack again, or the wing gimmick.
Of course. Well,
I don't remember. And then I know my pictures kind of suck. There's a lot of glare on those bag
yeah,
pictures. It's hard to see them.
that's okay. It's understandable. I'm not even sure if there's much else to say about them other than overall impressions of the wave. Now, LJ, you did not get many of the Chima Constraction sets last year except for Krager, correct?
Yes.
What do you think of new Krager compared to old Krager?
Yes. No, but really, I do actually agree with you, VBBN. He looks like a more solid set as compared to the old Krager, and I really like the old Krager. However, I probably like old Krager's weapon better. His new one, while it is unique, does seem a little bit simplistic.
It's lame. I don't know. I like the look of it. It's just I like when the characters have weapons that aren't generic and silver.
Also, gosh,
gives me
dang it,
flashbacks
I
to
knew it.
Select Blades. What?
I knew it. Panthar was gonna be a cool set.
You did? No, I don't remember if you told me or not, but past experiences would dictate it would be the case. I always say I'm gonna hate something and then it pulls a swerving swerve. I'm not sure if you listened to our coverages. I was giving that set a really hard time. I was like, this is worthless. Why does it exist? It's a waste of space. They could have done some other cool character. He doesn't even have a minifigure. Why is he here? And while those are valid points, the final product is cool, so I'm glad he was made.
Well, actually, that is one thing I noticed is that he seems to be, I don't know, some kind of afterthought because there's 7 sets, so each one and each on the back of their bags, I believe they all have a silhouette of another character. So like Vardy has a silhouette of Laval, but Panther has nobody. And then of all the fire
Really?
sets, like all the ice sets have a printed piece, and then all the fire sets have a printed piece that they all share, but Panther doesn't have the fire set's printed piece. So I don't know what he's supposed to be. And then
That's funny.
as well, like all of the fire sets have gold armor, and while he has a golden arm, he still has like a black torso armor and stuff. So he doesn't fit the aesthetic that the other ones have.
That is weird. It's probably like
So
they just tacked him on at the end.
Yeah, he's like a store exclusive set. That's what he makes me think of. Just like something that's there, but it doesn't really serve much purpose.
That's probably what it is. He doesn't have that many colored pieces either. He just has his head with the printing, and that's new. And then he has that small trans red bone piece, and other than that, he has no exclusive parts.
Oh yeah, Laval doesn't have any bones at all, any colored bones.
Well then. Well, he's an.
But he does have that. He does have that printed shield.
Yeah, that's
I was
great.
Getting a bit crazy over in my review.
Indeed. Okay, well, with that being said, I think it's about time we wrap up here. There's not really much else to say about these sets other than individual opinions, so I'll start with you, the reviewer. VBBN, what do you think about this wave? Do you think it's a success or a half and half?
I never had any of the previous Constraction or previous Chima sets, so I can't really compare them to that wave, but I think I do like it because I didn't really like Invasion from Below that much, so I like it better than that. But that's just because I prefer these kind of action figures without minifigures and stuff. But I definitely think that they spent a lot of money on recolors and new parts and things like that, but the designs are kind of lacking on a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're still, I mean, for such a high price tag, you're really paying for those repaints because the designs are just kind of, there's neat things that they did, but I don't really know if I would want to pay those prices for them, especially the two bigger ones.
Yeah, Fluminox doesn't really seem to be worthy of Titan status. Okay. LJ, if these sets came out in the US, because I know you would never like import them, would you buy any of them? Do you think they're good at all?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
One of them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine, two of them.
Which ones?
So Fangar and Krager.
Yeah.
Not Panther.
Okay, yeah, and Panthar. Three of them. These are lucky numbers.
What about
That's-
Laval?
I swear, man, I was right. All my predictions were spot on, except for Vardy. Vardy looked better than he initially did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for
Okay.
me. Great reviews, VBBN.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them. Good pictures.
As far as I'm concerned, the sets are a rather interesting dichotomy because we just got off of Invasion from Below, which is an interesting wave in its own right for Hero Factory because it took a lot of risks and the execution was mixed, to put it nicely. We had some great stuff and some less than great stuff. This wave, they tried to play it more safe and, like you said, rely on recolors a lot rather than design innovations. And it's still a mixed bag. So I know some people, myself included, appreciate the wave because it's actual characters and not mechs, which is nice to have, even though I like the mechs. I don't want traditional hero villain based characters to just go away. And there's a plethora of new pieces, and one thing you can say for Chima is the characters have a lot of personality to them, both in terms of color scheme and just their general essence, I guess you could say. Look at any one of these sets and then look at a Hero Factory set from the last however many years, and I'd say these are better. They're better than the average Hero Factory set, at least. There are standouts in every wave, but Brain Attack compared to this is a flop. Even some aspects of Breakout compared to this and the first Chima wave so far are not as good. So I think as the years go by and they use this new build system, they're getting better and better at doing what they do. Which would be a real shame if some themes got cancelled in 2015. Cough, cough. Don't cancel HF.
Actually, that was one thing I was gonna say because I didn't really talk one overall thing. Like I said, even though I didn't own the first wave of Chima, from what I can see, these ones are a lot better.
They are.
And this is so far the only like subline of a Constraction theme that has lasted for more than one wave.
Yeah.
And it shows that if they start releasing them more and giving them a chance, that they do get a lot better. So I do want to keep seeing them. Like, I wouldn't want to see another new theme next year. I want to see another wave of Chima because I think they could do it even better.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, the thing with Chima is apparently the first wave was a shelf warmer. It's everywhere, not selling. And I can vouch for that myself. They never really seem to sell well in my area, which is a shame.
I never put them on clearance either.
No, they did not. But, whatever. Some of these stuff's mixed opportunity. I'm butchering my words. I said mixed opportunity and missed bag. Missed opportunities and some mixed bags in this wave. But were they in the US, I'd probably get most of them. They're not, so I'll get one or two. That's pretty much my thoughts. Oh, and those one or two are Fangar and Panthar. Thank you today for joining us, VBBN, and thank you for writing up these well-done reviews and taking these well-done pictures. I think our fans will enjoy it, because quite frankly, these are far better than BZP's offerings. Just saying. So, once again, I reiterate, if you want to see the reviews, read about this in more detail, and look at the pictures, all the links to all 7 reviews are in the description below. Please go look at that. Thank you all for watching. Go buy the sets yourselves if you live anywhere but North America. If you don't, go cry in a corner like the rest of us. I am Messinac signing out. I was joined today by
LJ.
And the man who no one knows what his name actually means.
VBBN, the Bone Crusher, I think. Am I right?
Where did you get that from?
Wasn't that your name at one point? VBBN, the Bone Crusher?
On Skype?
I don't know.